acrylics or watercolour, and you might be using a hairdryer to dry your painting in between layers. So there's a few reasons why you'd want to do that, including drying the paint thoroughly so that when you put the next layer on top you don't get muddiness or fuzziness in the colours mixing in with previous layers. So when you're using a hairdryer on your artwork, often you've got the artwork sitting on the table and you're blasting with the hairdryer onto the painting. But what you've got to be careful of is where all that hot air is blowing to. So if you just hit the hairdryer straight onto the painting, I'd love to demonstrate this to you, but it's going to be very noisy if I do that while I'm trying to talk to you. If you hit the hairdryer straight onto the painting, the air doesn't just stop there on the painting, it goes blasting off onto the rest of your table. So if you've got tubes of paint or bottles of medium sitting up all around your painting, all that hot air for the entire time that you're blasting the hot air onto your painting is bouncing off the painting and going straight up onto those bottles and tubes of your precious paints and mediums, and they'll be drying out over time. So you've got to be really careful where the hot air is going to end up after it's hit your painting and then bounced off. If you've got watercolours spread out on palettes or in little Chinese or Japanese soy dishes around the outside edge of your painting, then the hot air is going to blast either into those dishes of water and splat the paint somewhere else, or it's just going to dry your whole palette. Same thing if you've got a palette of acrylic paints sitting alongside your painting that you're trying to dry. You'll be blasting the hot air straight across your palette of paints and you'll be drying out your paints. So my tip is, be very aware of where all that hot air is going to after it's bounced off your painting, and be careful about what direction you blast the hot air onto your painting. You need to have a clear space in behind where the hot air is going to travel off to. Ideally what you would do is take your painting either on the board or on the stretch canvas onto another chair or a small table with nothing else on it, and then do your blasting with the hot hairdryer on that table separately. So that's often what I do. With my watercolour, I have it taped onto a nice wooden board and I carry the board over to the hairdryer and then just dry it in the middle. I can hold it up or else pop it onto a stool, and nothing around it is going to be hurt by that hot air that's blasting on it. It seems like common sense, doesn't it? But I've seen a lot of people blasting away gaily with their hot air at the full temperature of the hairdryer straight onto their palette of paints or their precious bottles of medium. So be very careful about where that hot air is going. Thanks for watching.